Alright guys, hey, welcome. A couple months back I posted basically a walkthrough on Reddit about how to play Zhong Kui, and I got a lot of comments about it, and a lot of people liked it. A lot of people don't really know how to play this god. He's very, I don't know, average, I guess you would say. Now, he doesn't really do much, he doesn't really excel at anything, but from that I figured, I'll actually make a whole video, quick one, how to actually play this god. He's probably my favorite mage in the game, even though he's not super meta. After his buff about like 8-9 patches ago, he saw a little SPL play here and there, but nothing crazy. He didn't perform terrible, he didn't perform greatly. He's an average god. But if you like, being a bruiser mage and having a lot of lifesteal and sustain in your kit, then he is probably, I don't know, he's up there with Hades. He has a little more utility, a little less lockdown, a lot less lockdown than a Hades would. But he has his perks, he has his disadvantages, a lot of them. But he's a lot of fun to play. And in this guide, I will show you how to play as Zhong Kui. So first off, when you start, you're gonna want to get basically this. You can go Vamp Shroud. I don't really recommend it, really at all, because it's really not that good. You can go Soulstone, which is really good for him because of his passive and his book. Get tier 1 boots, or you can rush Bancroft's Talon. So, and you get a couple potions. 1, 2, 3. Well, not that, but anyway, just regular potions. Get a couple potions for yourself, and you head to lane. You're going to always want to level your 1 first. Now the thing about his 1, it's very strong, yet very weak. It is probably one of the most polarizing level 1s in the game. And you can see that because the damage is mediocre at best. So 5 seconds, 20 times 5, it's 100 damage. However, it's tick damage, it's not burst. But the strong part about this ability is the slow. It's a 20% slow for 5 seconds. At level 1, that is ridiculous. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably one of the strongest level 1 slows in the entire game. So the only way you really want to fight at level 1 is if you have like a Robin in jungle or a Relics jungle, someone that can do a lot of damage and stick on them for those 5 seconds. With a Robin, he levels up his 1 first. You have that 5-second slow. You have your 5-second slow plus his 2-second slow. So, I mean, that's 5, 6, 7 diminishing returns, about like 6 seconds of slow. That's pretty ridiculous. You can get a kill level 1. However, because it's not burst damage, it's very risky for Zhong Kui to go in and fight at level 1. 10-second cooldown, that's not long at all, but the damage, since it's not burst, is very mediocre at best. He's not someone you really want to invade camps with, even if you get a lead, because he has no confirmation. He has no burst ability. He's really strong level 1, and like I said, really weak level 1. So what you're gonna want to do, another polarizing thing. Actually, let's backtrack a little bit. Another polarizing thing is Soulstone. Now, you really only get the most out of Soulstone when you hit level 3. And that's even if you level up your 3rd ability at level 3. You might actually get it at level 2 if you're really far behind and you're getting camped and you need the extra CC. But most likely you're not going to get it at level 3. Or at level, yes, at level 3. You'll probably get it at level 4. You'll do 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 for the ability order. But let's just say this is the lane. Here you got your minions coming out. You're going to want to stack your Soulstone. So let's just let's the minions. Alright, so then you're boxing, they're over there, you're over here. You get your 5 stacks, and boom, 1. And you just gotta keep autoing, keep autoing, keep autoing, keep autoing. And then for level 2, unless you're super far behind and getting camped, you're always gonna get your number 2. Always. And by the time that hits, you should have 5 stacks because of the slow amount of damage on your Soulstone. You should have 5 stacks on your Soulstone. That's what I'm trying to say. So you got your second minion wave. You probably did speed. Come back. Do 1, a few more autos. You see the timer on it. Drop 2. Now here, once again, if you're getting camped, you're going to want to level your 3, but if you're not being camped, you're really going to want the extra damage in your 2, so you're going to level up 2. The wave comes, wave comes, wave comes. Boom, 5 stacks, 1, get a couple autos, and then you're going to Alright. So that's basically, you know, the 1 through 3. Once you hit level 3, or once you hit level 3 or 4, you know, you're pretty safe to box. His heal is pretty darn good, especially mid-game. You are not an early game mage. Well, not really, you can be, but if you get ahead. But you are, every sense of the word, a mid-game mage. Your damage falls off late compared to some other mages late game, like a Scylla or a Ra or a Thoth. But what makes up for it is the bully potential you have from like level 5 to like level 15, 16, maybe even like 18. Your sustain, especially with the build I'm going to show you, is quite ridiculous. Expose Evil and Exorcism give you 80 plus, I don't know, what is that, like maybe 10%, maybe 10% of your magical scaling as extra healing. So, you know, you can really sustain on a lane a lot easier than other mages. You could probably sustain better than a Raw early game, and things like that. Let's talk about his passive real quick. I forgot to mention that. The demons that Zhong Kui captures from Exorcism are stored in his demon bag, giving him additional protections for each demon captured. When Recall Demons is activated, Zhong Kui gains double the protections from his demon bag, but eventually losing all stacks when his bag is empty. Alright, so his passive is truly what makes him such a bully in the mid-game. Those 20 to 40 protections you're going to get without building any defense, plus his base stats, whatever they may be, make mages, mid-mages, make it very hard for them to burst you down. Especially, like I said, with the build I'm going to show you, the damage versus your lifesteal and sustain just isn't there. A Scylla, a Ra, something like that, will very rarely be able to get the drop on you and 1v1 you. He is not the best 1v1er, but he can definitely dump his whole kit and usually out-trade someone because of his sustain and lifesteal. I will show you the build in a little bit, but let's also talk about using his ultimate as an escape. It's not the best escape, obviously, because it's not an escape, but the damage ever since he got the buff is quite good. It's really, really strong, especially early. 5 ghosts hitting you if someone's trying to stick on you, plus your stun. You know, it's something you'd really want, you know, up as much as you can. The only problem that falls off with him, or is a problem with him, is losing stacks. Once the 20 stacks, it doesn't sound like a lot, but once you have a support and a jungler in your lane, getting those 20 stacks every single time you use your ult becomes quite obnoxious. It really does, especially late game when you're no longer fighting in lanes, you're fighting in the jungle. Getting your full passive, it almost becomes irrelevant. It really does. Now remember, a lot of people like to build Zhong Kui tanky. Like, they like to build him as like a super bruiser mage, and you can do that. I don't really suggest it. You know, mages are meant to do damage, but I mean, you can do it, and I'm going to show you the build, and there is no set build in this entire game. There's nothing you can build one time that's going to work in every single scenario. So I'm going to show you, the main core items on him, and a few other situational items. But let's just go over his abilities. So the level order is going to be 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Then you're going to max your 2. Then you're going to max. You can either max your 1 or your 3. I prefer the 1 myself. The slow on it, the extra ticking damage. I've gotten a lot of kills where I've just slapped the 1 on somebody around like level 13 and it ticks them down. So let's level up a little bit. You're going to max your ult whenever available, and you're going to max your 3 last. So let's level up a little bit. Let's get to like 13. Alright. So we're going to max our 2, max our 4, max our 1. So around level 13, excuse me, around level 13, this is what your build's gonna look like. Or not your build, but your abilities. Build-wise, you'll probably be around here if you're farming well. You're gonna get Pen Boots first back, and then second back, you're gonna get Bancroft's Talon. Bancroft's Talon is so key on him for boxing because of his ultimate and because of his already built-in lifesteal. Now, he does decent damage. I mean, if you hit him with just the one, right, he's standing in his protections, but 58, 58, 58, 58. So that's like 275 damage just for his one, right? And then you combo it with the two, you know, his actual combo. I mean, with an auto attack thrown in there, auto attack canceling, you know, it's decent damage. It's really not bad. You hit him with a great. See, now, what a lot of people don't know is that Zhong Kui's damage isn't from his 2. It's from the removal of the card off of his 2 or his 3. But you get the sustain back with the 2. So the better combo, but you do get a double stun with his 3. So if you use it 0.9, so that's 1.8 seconds. Again, you're going to try to use that defensively. I'm going to show you one build that you could do with him and max that second, but it's kind of like more like a fun build. I wouldn't really suggest it in normal, you know, competitive games. As you can see here, though, his 2 is for 303, right? So let's go back here. It's going to be pointless by the time I get back. It's going to be on cooldown. So it hits for 303 with just Bancroft, Soulstone, and Penance. However, if you see this, 296 plus 185 plus the tick of damage. So, I mean, do the math. 296, that's 300 plus 185. That's another 200 plus the tick of damage for like 63. So that's close to 650 damage, about that. You know, it's really strong. That's a lot of health for late game. And the cooldown, or mid game. And the cooldowns are pretty short. You know, they aren't the best, they aren't the worst. But like I said, his sustain is what makes him, you know, what makes up for it. His damage is all close. As you can see, his 1 is probably about 50. His 2 is a cone, like Ymir's freeze. His 3 is a circle stun, kind of like Kali's 3, but a lot slower. And his ultimate is probably one of the better tools in the game, one of the better zoning ultimates in the game. But I would not say it's a great ultimate. The fact that it doesn't hit minions or jungle objectives or anything to that effect really dampers his secure as a mage. He doesn't have the best secure, but you know, like I said, it's a great zoning tool. It used to not be. It used to be pretty bad. You would just pop it and people would just sit in it and, you know, not move at all and just take all the damage. But now it comes out so fast. So let's see with this you know, level 13 build I got going. Let's see how much damage his entire kit can do. So we're gonna 1, we're gonna 3, and we're gonna 4. And well, you can also do it this way. I'm gonna do it a little different. This is how I like to do it. I like to put the 1 on them, let my alt tick maybe 2 or 3, and then pop the card off with the 2. So let's see if we can do this. We're gonna go 1, 4, right, let it tick, and then an auto here, insta kill. So that kills a Ra with no defense at level 13. Plus I had, you know, I still had my 3 up, which does pretty decent damage. And there was still probably a couple ghosts, you know, left on the 4, maybe 1 or 2. So, you know, he does do decent damage mid-game. The problem is late game, he falls off because you have to get so close. You know, you can out-sustain most gods, and that's why you're a bully. But late game, when you're getting 2-shot, 3-shot by a hunter or an assassin, you know, he really falls off. You know, you're only going to do 1 or 2 things. You're going to 1, 2, and then you're going to ult, and then Aegis, and get the hell out of there. You're not going to be able to do much more than that. He also has this combo where you could 1, 3, and then you get a free auto. You can do that, and Polynomicon can work on him if you build it that way. That's the build I was talking about earlier. You know, he's a decent god. I like him. I'm going to show you guys a build now that I like to do. So remember, his combo is 1, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4. You know, and you're gonna wanna you're going to want to basic attack as much as you can with this guy. Oh, lastly, yes, let me not forget about this. That flying carpet that you see next to him, it's a scroll, the flying scroll you see next to him, it is part of his, I think his 3. It's part of his 3, right? And you're going to see, if I'm off center a little bit, I'm hitting for 71. If I hit with both auto attacks, it's 71 plus 35. So that's like 99 damage per auto attack. Now, do not sleep on Zhong Kui's tower push. Because of that bonus 35 damage, his tower push is pretty decent for a mage. It's probably, I would say, about like top, maybe it's in the top 10, maybe top 7 of tower pushing mages. I mean, you got your souls, you have your chronoses and stuff like that, but you know, for an actual like a bruiser mage, like he's gonna outdo Hades, he's gonna outquash. You know, those kind of sustainy bruisering mages, he's tower pushing because of his scroll. He's much better at it. Hopefully one day Hi-Rez will put a tower in jungle practice to make it a little better to see. All right, so now after, you know, that's his combo, his 1, his 2, his 3, like all that stuff I said. Let's talk about builds. Now, you can build Zhong Kui a couple of ways. I'm going to first show you and give you reasons why I build him the way I do. So, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but Soulstone stacks off of his 3. So, you will only... Let me show you this. Let me show you real quick. Alright, we're just going to burn... Oh, okay, there's no minions here, obviously. But we're going to burn the Soulstone, and then I'm going to show you how fast it stacks with his 3 active. Alright, so we're going to burn Soulstone here, right? So there we go. Now, instead of just 1 per thing, watch. 2, 4, 5. So 3 autos, and you have 5 stacks of your Soulstone, which after level 1, that's why his level 2 push clear is pretty decent. Because he gets it faster, even like against an Isis. Well, Isis is probably about even, but you know, the because of her augmented last auto attack. But that's why I like Soulstone. It's very easy to stack on him. It's quick. It's a lot faster than like a Scylla or a Hades or something like that. And you're sitting there trying to get your 5 autos, so your sustain is decent in lane, etc., etc. Now, when I was showing you, if you're feeling confident and you're feeling good and you think you have a good matchup, go Tiny Trinket. Go Tiny Trinket, first item, you know, after Soulstone, and a couple of potions. That'll lead you straight into the Bancroft tree, as you know. And then on your first back, you're going to get Pen Boots. Now, you can get cooldown boots. I don't suggest it. I don't like cooldown boots on anybody, not even like Guardians or anything to that effect. I like Pen Boots. The extra damage, the 10 magical pen, especially with the rest of his build, really helps him out early game. You know, the cooldown boots, 10% cooldown on 10 seconds is 1 second off. That's nothing. It's really not worth it. You know, his mana sustain isn't the best. Maybe the extra 250 mana helps, but I would rather back and get the extra damage than, you know, buying cooldown boots and doing a lot less damage. Now let's talk about his core items. There's about 2 or 3 core items on this god. And the first one being Bancroft's Talent. Bancroft's Talent for this god is absolutely essential. And if your team, especially since it's so in meta right now, if you're going against the Zhong Kui who does not have this item, box him. Beat him out of lane, do whatever you have to do, because his sustain is not going to be where it should be. It's, like I said, especially since this item has kind of taken over the spot of Book of Thoth, the extra sustain on him, it's quite ridiculous. Let's take a little damage, and you know, we'll take a look at how much he can actually heal up from Bancroft's Talent. So hit the fire giant a couple times, some damage. Let's get out of here. Alright, so as you see, I have about 200 health. Make sure I don't walk in the fountain.
I think I tore my back.
We'll wait for a full wave. But I mean, just look at the auto. Look at the auto. 50 health per auto. That's insane. I mean, well, not 50, but 40. But, I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. That's pretty ridiculous. Now, that's not even where his heal comes from. You know, his heal comes from exposing a card on his 2. So let's just see, at level 14, with just these 3 items, let's see how much we can heal up for. Now, granted, Bancroft's is stacked pretty high, but let's take a look. So a third of your health, more than a third, like 2/3 of your health, about that, about 2/3 of your health, I would say. Yeah, about that. Maybe half your health, whatever. The sustain on him is pretty dang good. Now remember, you can get that off jungle camps, off minions, and things like that. What I can't show you here is, or maybe I can actually. Let's see if I can do this. Is his sustain while using his ultimate. That's why I said it's like a pseudo escape. Let's see if this works. That. Now let's see how much I heal from using his 4 on 3. Right? And you can drop it down too. You know, it's not much. It's not the best thing in the world, but all the damage they put out, I healed up on. I healed up from it. You know, you just want to get your heal back. You know, his single target damage isn't the best. No, it really isn't. He's much stronger in like a 3v3 skirmishes. That's probably where he's strongest, and that's why he is a mid-game mage. You know, once people start getting online, trying to get in front of people's faces and stuff, it's not really, you know, 100% possible. Hello. So, what else? Alright, so let's see. Back to items. So what else you can build? Now, after this, I like to go, and almost always, Spirit of the Magus. Spirit of the Magus on his 1 and his ult is essential to make this god work. The penetration you receive just from his 1 alone, not mentioning his ult, when both are going off at the same time, the damage is quite good. It's quite good. Let's see what we got here. 87, 92, 92. Alright, so that's max damage. So on an Odin bot, after 1 tick, you're hitting for max damage. Most mages, you're going to be hitting for max damage. My magical protection right now is, what, 48? So that's minus 50? So yeah, you're going to be hitting for max. After 5 ticks, 88, 92. Yeah, you're hitting for max damage already. But anyone tankier than them, you know, it strips them. Now, here, you can do 2 items. Well, I like to do 2 items. So, if you're super ahead, I mean super duper ahead, right? Spear of Desolation. The extra 10% cooldown, the passive, you know, it's very helpful. The extra pen. Without, with just Spear of Desolation and Shoes of the Magi, you're hitting almost for true damage anyway. Right, so Spear of the Magus is more for the tankier targets, you know, the Raven jungles, the Osiris jungles, the Bellonas, you know, you're going to want to burn them as fast as possible, and Spear of the Magus really helps there. Divine Rune is pretty darn good on him too, just because the anti-heal. Obsidian Shard is okay, I wouldn't really suggest it, you're not really a burst mage, especially late game, you're more of like a disrupting mage, but I would go this item. Now, let's talk about the next item. Now, if you decide to go a little tankier, right, I would say one more item is pretty core on him. It's not 100% necessary, it's not, but I like it a lot. I really do. I think it's amazing on him. Gem of Isolation. This is where I build it. I build it 1, 2, 3, 4th. I build it 4th after Soulstone. And the health, the protection, or the crowd control reduction, and the slow. If I could show you, I mean I can't, but if I could show you how awesome his slow is with the 1 and Gem of Isolation, it's insane. It is absolutely insane. It's a 5-second slow for 45%. 45% on a 5-second slow. And on top of that, it works on his ult as well. So any which way they're coming, going, whatever, they are going to be slow. It is like a Ymir levels of slow we're talking here. It absolutely destroys any momentum you have. Absolutely destroys it. And then we're going to talk about the 5th slot is going to be your situational slot. Now, if you're going up against a real tanky team, like super tanky and not a lot of burst, I would absolutely go Voidstone.
Now,
void stone.
evil will stand no chance.
If they're more like pressure, like sticking gods, like the Osiris, the Bellona, even though it's magical protection, the protection reduction is what you're looking for. It's what, 20? That's 50. So that's 70 magical reduction. Reduction. We're not talking pen. We're talking reduction. And then you have your 10% pen on your boots. So you're hitting true damage, guaranteed. You know, nothing's gonna happen with it. If you're going against this is just, you know, situational. If you're going against, if you're super ahead, once again, Spear of Desolation, very good item. I would build it around here, only if you're super ahead. You know, you have the sustain from the Bancrofts, the health from the gem, the pen and the movement speed from the shoes and the spear. And a lot of people like to build him tanky. So you'll see a lot of people build this next. Tide of the Urchin.
A wise choice.
It stacks really well with his passive. It gives you the extra protections. So 35, 35. If you use your, so that's 70, right? 70 protections of each. If you use your ultimate, it's another 40. So that's 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. So 110 protections while in your ultimate form, plus 20 when you're not using your ultimate. So I mean, it's very helpful. You know, he has a decent health pool for a mage. You know, it's a decent item for him. Not a huge fan of it, but you know, it can work. A lot of people like to go Spirit Robe or Mantle of Discord. Same thing. The cooldown reduction on both of these help. The crowd control reduction really helps. I don't know why I just got that idle mark. And then lastly, you know, you're gonna want to build like on every mage, because he still is a mage. Like a lot of people, you know, don't think that he is. He is. And, you know, Rod Up to Duty really helps him. So even if we do this and we get that, right? Let's see what kind of damage he does. Let's say it's late game. You know, you're high to the Urchin stack. You have a lot of protections. You know, you got your passive up. You know, you're ready to go. You got both relics. You're good to go. Let's rock. Let's see what we can do to rock. And this is with a protection item. Don't forget. You know, that hits pretty hard. Yeah, finish him off with that. 531. I saw a 531. You know, your cooldowns are quite short now. They're pretty good. So let's try the 1-4. I pushed the wrong button. So let's try. So like I said, you're gonna do the 1, let it stick, hit the 4. Let's see what we got. Look at his movement speed. You don't even need anything else. That's it. That's all you need. You can save your 2, your 3 for boxing potential when they drop back on top of you. No, he has almost 3,000 health with this build. You know, 2,700 health, let's say. You know, that's a lot of health for a mage. A lot. And you know, he's very underutilized for what he is. You know, especially since the game is such early game. If you have like an Relics or a Ravana to carry you through the early game, and then you hit that like level 12 to like 17, that is where Zhong Kui shines. He is a monster. If he's ahead, he is literally unkillable. Like, unkillable. He's like a Hercules for a mage. His protections, the 20 protections from people behind, that is ridiculous. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. You know, all those little pokes and jabs that you get in mid lane do a lot less damage, and especially since you can heal them up, it makes it a lot better. It really does. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you liked my guide for Zhong Kui. This is TikTak.